I'm like,
5
you
watch
think
bands.
that you're getting that like with shipping? I can't even ship it for that amount, let alone include something in the box.
I don't know how you do it, but I'm buying it. And welcome back to the Riley Black Project. Crystal and John.
Hey.
What's up?
Same old shit.
Yep. Yep. We'll get into it in the life update. Ooh, speaking of Noe.
What?
I just got a Facebook. He mentioned me. Anyway.
Nice.
So today's episode is sponsored by
Katie with Monarch Pine. No S.
No S.
She's giving our listeners 10% off with code Riley Black on her Etsy, monarchpine.etsy.com.
For the record, Katie, I've been saying it correctly now. And she says it with the S.
No. I said it wrong once.
Right.
But I
clearly
blame you.
It's stuck because now she's making it a point.
I'm just being annoying.
Yeah. Yeah. But I say it right now. And I correct people. I corrected Will in his life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Who we got?
So, if you've been listening for a while, and if you went to Tulsa, you saw it live in person. But these skulls are amazing. And
there's another one
there's
on the way.
There's another one on the way.
Gonna be on the way.
Yeah. So
excited.
we have the person who made this for us. Bree with the Burn Shack. How's it going?
Hey, friend.
Hello.
We love the skulls.
We do.
Glad you do.
Talk about anytime I get to talk about it, I talk about it because it's
so
pretty cool.
cool.
It's pretty cool.
Like,
I'm excited for you guys to see the new one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was really cool in the video, so I can only imagine how cool.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah.
Is that it over there in the corner? Easter
I had
egg.
a little Easter egg for you.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah, it's like a true red. The other one was almost like an orangish red or like a palish red. Still awesome. It looks great on your desk. My eye is watering. I swear I'm not crying
don't
this
cry.
time.
So early in the
No
episode.
tears today.
We just started.
But I sent her, it was, of course, a bamboo 3D printer ad that got me. And there's this cute little, it looks like a pillow, but it's a 3D printed pillow for your phone.
Oh, okay.
Put like your phone in it. And I want it from the nightstand. And then I started like searching for color options on Amazon. I was really dangerous because I wanted all of them.
Yeah.
And it's not even my printer. So I was like, what about this one? What about this one? Ooh, look at this one. Ooh, look at like all the color shift ones. And oh my God, there were so many options. It was really hard to choose. But the red one with glitter, that one was like a have to try that one.
Yeah.
So yeah, she got that one and printed the skull in it. So I'm really excited.
And it's funny because at the conference, like I had known about these skulls, and I knew I knew the name, like I knew Burn Shack and I knew Dutra because obviously, Dutra
That name
rang.
would stick. Oh, yeah.
That would stick with a other coworker I had, no relation. So I knew that we were gonna get them at the conference.
Right.
So we just start talking.
Yeah.
I don't know who they are. Obviously, they listened to the podcast because they said, and we were talking. They're like, "Oh, we have something for you," and then it's like they bust out the head. I'm like, "You're the skull people." Yeah, that was fun. That's the story behind that.
Yep. So now anytime I see anything 3D printed, I'm sending it to her because I'm like, add this to my list and add this to my list.
I have so much on my list.
And I keep adding to it.
Yeah.
Make all these things.
Well, yeah, because then you find the cool stuff, and I'm like, damn, I didn't even see that one.
Yeah. The algorithm be getting me.
Yeah.
It's like wearing on me like, oh, you don't have one.
A 3D printer?
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't have room yet.
Oh.
Yet.
It doesn't take up that much space.
Yeah, we don't have space.
We don't have any.
We didn't either. And we somehow managed.
So like I could see, so like if I clean off
big if.
that
that
what do you
pile.
call it? Table. No, the
table
where
over
my
there,
like
where...
photography stuff is, it could fit on top of there. Yeah, but then we also need to save up for it too and make sure we have the funds for it and all that. Because, I mean, with 3D printing, it's not impossible to make money, and I think it's a little bit easier with the bamboo because, like, everyone I know loves the printer who has it. But like if you have any of the other ones, like there's a lot more failure, I think, in those. And like if you spend 20 hours or 24 hours or even longer printing something and it fails, you've now wasted all of that time, all of that filament, and you can only charge so much for something 3D printed anyway a lot of times. So
pricing is definitely not, you don't price 3D printed items the same way that you would price a lasered item.
Exactly. Yeah. So like it would be like a toy for the most part. And then like if we make something and someone wants something and we can like make it make sense, then we might sell it. But it would be with like toy first. Right. And then maybe sell a couple.
That's kind of how ours is right now. I mean, we bought it as a toy, really, but we knew there would be some usage out of it as far as like we can make jigs for things.
Yes.
And that was like the main thing. Like we can make jigs, and then if we get good at it, we can sell the jigs. And then the skulls happen to be something, and that's cool, you know. But those, I mean, we're not going to make money on the skulls because they take 24 hours to print. So they're just a really cool thing. And, you know, if somebody wants one, then yeah, we'll do it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey there, podcast listeners. How great would it feel if this was the year you finally got to escape your 9-to-5 to embrace your lifestyle of creativity and entrepreneurship?
Every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern, Eon Laser USA invites you to join the Freedom to Create webinar, where you'll learn how to make this a reality.
Join leading laser industry professional and brand ambassador Emily, aka That Mom with a Laser, and Eon Laser USA's sales manager Alicia as they dive into all things Eon.
Learn about the advantages of owning an Eon laser and get the scoop on Eon's rewards and partner benefits. Plus, get a glimpse at how everyday people who started out with zero experience paid off their lasers, scaled their businesses, and transformed their lifestyles.
So if you're ready for a lifestyle change, head over to eonlaser.us/whyus and sign up for the Freedom to Create webinar today.
Thanks for listening. Laser on.
Speaking of all things laser, check out Houston Acrylic at houstonacrylic.com for reliable laser tested and laser approved materials.
Made for makers by makers, Houston Acrylic features over 450 styles of acrylic sheets. With over 50 new arrivals being released this month, Houston Acrylic is committed to bringing new and innovative styles to the laser community. My personal favorite is the matte. Anything matte. And I feel it's perfect for everything.
Don't forget to save 10% by using our exclusive coupon code TRBP10 at checkout. Get inspired today and visit houstonacrylic.com.
Do it. So how did you get into the laser world? When did you get your first laser, and like what got you to buy that first laser?
So like a lot of other people, I got it in 2020. What happened was I actually was doing nails at the time. I did nails for about 15 years. I owned a salon.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So COVID happened and our state happened to just, shut us all down. And we were shut down for a long time. So
yeah, how long was it? So, like, I mean, we're in Florida, and it was definitely,
2 weeks.
It was a long time. No, but, like, it was 2 weeks, but only for certain services. Like, I was getting my nails done at my nail tech's, like, apartment for several months because, and then it was, like, come with a mask on. We all washed our hands, like, and it was several months before before she was even comfortable doing that, because I remember how janky my nails looked, and I already went like 4 to like 5 weeks anyway in between, like getting them done again, and yeah, we were doing it like, that sounds wrong, she was doing my nails in her apartment for a while because she just couldn't legally do it.
Open up.
We were shut down for a really long time. I want to say they shut us down I'm pretty sure it was March. And then I don't think salons were actually able to reopen until November, maybe.
Oh my God.
It was a long time. I mean, people were covering their windows
Right.
with stuff and like having their clients go in the back door and locking all the doors. And it was.
I get it. I mean, like you got to pay the bills. Like just because, you know, the world shut down doesn't mean your bills shut down. Those bills kept coming.
Yep. It was a crazy time. But yeah, so during that time, I am a very creative person. I can't live if I can't create something. Mm-hmm. And so my progression to getting a laser was very funny. At first I started with, I was painting rocks because there was this big thing where like you would paint rocks and go hide them like through the community.
Yep.
Oh yeah. I do love those. Those are kind of cool to find.
Yeah. And so I started doing that. And then it was weird because people were like, oh my gosh, can I pay you to paint a rock for me? And I was like,
that's awesome.
Okay. So I was painting rocks for people. And then I kind of got bored with that. And then
have you seen the mandala ones?
Yeah.
It's like the dots.
Yes. I'll have to send you some of the pictures of the ones that I did because there were some good ones.
Nice.
So I was doing that for a while and then I started making, and I actually had been doing this for a while before, but I really love, and I'm not wearing any right now, but I really love bracelets, like beaded bracelets. And so I really got into making beaded bracelets and they were, the ones with the names on them and, you know, the funny sayings and stuff like that. Yeah. And those took off.
Yeah.
And then I was making earrings and all sorts of stuff. So I bought a silhouette.
Yeah.
Because I did so much research on this. I had seen in one place, I'm pretty sure it was just one place, I had seen somewhere that I could cut leather with the silhouette.
Oh.
And so I bought the silhouette.
You can, but...
Yeah, you can, but it's like not...
It's not the... So it's like, it's using the right tool for the job. Can that tool, like, do it? Sure. Can it do it well? And if it's like really thin leather,
right?
But then the really thin leather is usually like the cheaper, not as quality leather. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it can, and then you'll go through blades like crazy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And so I got the silhouette. It did not work out.
Right.
It did not work out. And I still have it. And I think I've only used it like a couple times because it was not going to work. And I was getting aggravated. And then I started seeing ads for the Glowforge. And I was like, okay, I'm seeing them all over the place. This looks really freaking cool. So I approached my husband, Albert, and I'm like, all right, he's the tech guy. He's such a nerd. Yeah. He researches everything, like almost overly. So it was
him.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yes.
True.
So it was probably like the end of the summer and I was like, I want a Glowforge. So he was like, all right, let me look into this. And it took a while. And he finally was like, absolutely not. No. We're not spending the money on a Glowforge. We will get something else. And I was like, okay, whatever. I trust you. And I do. I'm just like, okay, honey, I trust you. You're going to do the right thing. Yeah. So we ended up getting an OhmTech. Okay. Got a 60 watt. And that was in like December, I think, that year. When we finally got it. And I didn't really use it very much. I was terrified of this.
Oh, no, it's intimidating, especially
it
like...
Really is.
I mean, and that's not like a tabletop. That's like a big...
Yeah.
That's a big machine.
Yeah, when it came, I was like, okay, this is not what I was thinking, it was going to be huge, but I mean, this is massive. Yeah. So he figured out how to use it and he started making these wood ornaments and I was like, cool. He's trying to teach me and I'm like, I don't know what to do with this, and I'm terrified to use it by myself. And, so for a while he was the one using it and he was trying desperately to teach me. Yeah. And then finally salons were allowed to open back up. And I didn't go back to work until I think like April the next year because I had torn my rotator cuff. So then I couldn't even work anyway. So I went back to work and he made me some really cool stuff for like salon decor. Like it was really awesome. And then, periodically I would use it, but only with him. He would have to help me with it.
Supervise, yeah.
Yep.
Attention all laser owners and crafters. Are you tired of spending hours cutting, painting, and assembling laser products? Look no further than Crazy Laser Dad Laser Ready Blanks.
Their high-quality blanks are expertly sourced, tested, and ready to use with your lasers. Say goodbye to the hassle and frustration of time-consuming projects and hello to more time creating and selling.
Plus, with their wide selection of items, you'll surely find the perfect blank for all your customers.
So, what are you waiting for? Visit crazylaserdad.com today and take your laser crafting to the next level with their laser-ready blanks.
Welcome to the revolution in laser engraving. Introducing Lens Digital, the creators of the game-changing Pyburn rotary attachment. With the Pyburn 4.0, you can turn ordinary cups, tumblers, glasses, and more into extraordinary masterpieces.
Looking to engrave niche items or want the functionality of a Chuck rotary? Look no further than the Pyburn Grip, Lens Digital's Chuck-style rotary. With a range of different sized jaws, you can easily engrave a wide variety of items. All Lens Digital products are compatible with most CO2 and Galvo lasers and were designed specifically for the laser industry. All that, paired with the best-in-class customer support, Lens Digital is your one-stop shop for all of your rotary needs.
Transform your laser engraving game with Lens Digital, where makers succeed. Unleash your creativity today.
And don't forget, we are proud Lens Digital affiliates as well. If you're shopping, code RileyBlack will take $50 off any order of $600 or more.
And because I was working, full-time doing nails, I didn't have the way my brain works is like, it's consuming me. My art consumes me, and it's really, it's a blessing and a curse.
Yeah.
And I didn't have room for the laser stuff at that time in my brain.
Right.
So I was, doing nails still, and then I ended up with really bad tennis elbow, really bad.
No.
And I could have had surgery, but my doctor was basically like, even if you have the surgery, if you go back to doing what you're doing, it's repetitive motion, you're going to get hurt again. And that was it. That was the end of my career doing nails. And so I had to close my salon. And for probably like 2 months, I was like crying on my couch. Because I didn't know what to do.
It's hard. Well, especially, doing it for that long and having like it's almost like a forced retirement. It was. Like that's a lot to take in. I know for Liz, she kind of had a forced retirement from law enforcement, and because of her neck, she had neck surgery, and I don't know on what part exactly, but like fused things, and it was a pretty crazy surgery, and there's no way that she was going to be able to go back to like duty work, and so she was forced to retire when she didn't want to. She loved what she was doing. She loved being an officer, and she was forced retired, and then I think she was just doing, I don't know if she bought the laser before or was like doing it on the side yet, but so she was doing it, and then like it wasn't like taking off as fast as she wanted it to. And then also having been in law enforcement for so long, she was getting paid really good money,
right?
And so trying to replace that really good money
in such a short time,
right. And forced, and she still has to heal, and all those things. It was a lot for her mentally to get past and like kind of come to terms with before she could really like succeed and excel with laser stuff.
It's really hard. You have to. It's absolutely heartbreaking when that kind of thing. I feel for her. That's just awful. damn, that
Yeah.
sucks.
So then so you were like in a funk for a couple months, and then like, how did you finally start to like crawl out?
Well, Albert kept reminding me, we have a laser. We have
Yeah.
this thing right here that you
Right.
wanted, and you
Yeah.
don't even do anything with it. And I don't even remember what the first thing was that I made by myself without him helping me. I don't even remember what it was, but I just remember like the second I made that thing by myself, I was hooked.
Yep.
And it just took off from there. And I just, my brain started firing again, and I was getting excited. And so we ended up, it was only like a few years ago, but it feels so long ago.
Right.
I don't even remember actually what it was that like really, really made it take off, but we ended up having, so our name, the Burn Shack, it comes from, we started in a tough shed. And so when we were thinking of names, I'm like, it's a little shack out there. So, it's the Burn Shack. Yeah. And we ended up growing out of that. And so we had to convert our garage, which was really hard for Albert because he has a classic car, and that was the garage.
What does he have?
He has a Camaro.
Yeah. It's okay. It's a shack. I thought it was like a Mustang or something.
Oh my gosh, don't tell him that.
That's hilarious.
But yeah, so we had to kick the car out, and we had to convert the garage, and it just it's been uphill. I mean not uphill, but it's been up since then.
Right.
And I never thought that I would be as happy as I am now doing this and not doing nails. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And so you actually, oddly enough, just hit your 1 year anniversary on Etsy, right?
Yes, I did.
Tell us about that.
Yeah, that's been crazy. It took me a really long time to even open my Etsy shop.
It's terrifying.
I was so scared.
It's overwhelming. I should thank Heather, once a month if I think about it. But the only reason I set up my Etsy was because of her. I had attempted to previously for t-shirts, and I got to the point of like setting up a listing, and I had to add in all the different fucking sizes and prices and colors and every different size and price and color for each like variation. And I was like, fuck this, I'm out. And it was in the listing description and like just all the different things that you couldn't think about. And like, then you figure that out and you're like, oh, how much do you charge for shipping? I'm like, I don't know. And then trying to figure out like adding in, oh God, it was too much. And then when she finally set up her file shop, I didn't have to deal with shipping. So that took that away. And then I kind of had like an idea by then of like other file sellers and like how the kind of like their listing descriptions would kind of go, and like there wasn't any variations because it was one file for the most part. If it had variations, it was a different different listing, and so I had someone to hold my hand, so I actually set it up because it was just anytime I'd try to go in there and I'd like try to figure it out and I'd hit like one snag and I'd be like, all right, I'm out.
Yeah, that's very, very intimidating to do. And the file thing, I actually didn't even start selling files until this year sometime, maybe. I think I finally got the courage to start selling some of the files. And that can be really, I mean, it's easier to list those, but it's more scary because there's other things. Like people will put stuff like people will buy a file and not realize they're buying a file, even though you have it, this is an SVG right there on the picture. Yeah.
No.
Hey, so I ordered that a week ago. Do you have a tracking?
Oh my God, all the time.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I started doing the personalization box where at first I was saying, please type yes if you understand that this is a digital file.
Yeah,
And you won't
my
be
initials are JA.
Yes. Right.
Yep.
Yes. And
Oh,
that's
wait,
still
3?
Right.
Okay, I'll put my middle initial, JJA.
Oh my gosh. And then I started changing it to please type I understand this is a digital file, whatever, because they have to actually type that. But, it's for the most part, it's okay. I have had a couple of times.
I don't know if you, like, how far back, like, if you've listened to every episode, but there were people who typed yes and still thought they were buying a product.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I'm buying this $4 wrist.
And then the worst part is most of the time it would be when I had a sale. So I felt like Etsy was like pushing it out to like just rando people. And so then it would not only be like normally like a lot of my watch band files are $6, but they would be on sale. So it'd be like, I don't know, 40% off or 30% off. And so they get it for like $4 or $3, and
Getting
I'm like,
5
you
watch
think
bands.
that you're getting that like with shipping? I can't even ship it for that amount, let alone include something in the box.
I don't know how you do it, but I'm buying it. You're selling it, I'm buying it.
God,
I actually just recently I did, and I think this is, well, as far as I know, this is the first person that has really actually done that. But when I released the files for my dripping nail fee thing, this girl that follows me was in such a hurry to buy the thing that she bought the file instead, and then put all of her personalization stuff in that box I said, like, please type, I understand or whatever. And I was like, oh gosh. And so but I messaged her and I was like, hey, you bought the wrong one. But I was like, the file was like $7 or something. I'm like, maybe she didn't pay attention to the price, and
no,
didn't realize
I'm picking the cheaper one.
Yeah,
That's
maybe.
the
I don't
other
know.
part, too.
Yeah. But we got it figured out.
Yeah.
Oh, look, they made a mistake on their listing. This one's only $7. I'm gonna buy that one.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, I bet you there are people that think that.
Yeah. If I ever do like physical products on Etsy, it'll have to be like a separate shop to just make sure, like, just to avoid that confusion even more, because I can't. And I mean, if it's working for you, don't change it. But I don't deal well with like customers having issues.
No,
Well,
Even it stresses me out. Like, I do not like when people are unhappy, even if it's not my fault. So
I honestly wanted, and I still want to do a separate shop for my digital stuff. But I'm kind of scared to open a second shop because I'm afraid that it's going to get shut down, and then my regular shop is going to get shut down.
Same. It's the whole reason I haven't done a second shop as well, because there was a point where Etsy was having trouble with like auto approvals or auto denials and whatever. And if the two are tied together, they not only shut down one, they shut down your other one.
Why is that? For potential scams?
I think so, but I mean, the problem is it was bots doing it, and so it's not like an actual person looking at it. And so for whatever reason, it would hit some queue and it would get automatically rejected, and then all of a sudden their other shop that was doing fine, was nothing related, had no violations, was all of a sudden shut down. And if you've ever had to get in touch with Etsy, if there's a problem, it's near impossible. And so it's hard because, like, I know I could potentially be making additional money with keychain thingies on Etsy, but I don't want to mess up the file sales that I'm already getting on Etsy itself. And so, yeah, it doesn't take much to discourage me from things. And so when I've seen problems that people are having, and they'll be like successful shops, and then all of a sudden they'll be shut down. And again, there's two sides to every story. Some people who claim they've done nothing wrong, you'll go look at their Facebook and you see all of these like infringing items and stuff. And it's like, okay, like, you can say you did nothing wrong, but like, this is infringement, this is infringement. Maybe you really didn't know, but some of them were like blatant. So, you never know if they actually had like violations and notifications and stuff.
But my Beauty and the Beast tumbler is my bestseller.
Yes. Or they'll call it, the like mouse something. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah. And there are things that I had listed when I first opened my shop, and I was like, you know what? This is doing a lot better than I expected to. Like the shop is, and I really don't want to get shut down. So I'm going to take whatever I can off of it.
Right.
I'm sure, because I don't know, you're in that group, right? On Facebook, the trademark watchdogs.
Yes.
There
I interviewed the group owner.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
There's some things that are trademarked that
that you don't even think about. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, you would have to literally go on there constantly.
Yeah. You'd have to search before every listing. Yes. And then you'd also have to like regularly search, because even if it wasn't trademarked when you listed it, that doesn't mean that one wasn't in the process. Although those come up too. If they're as soon as they hit pending, it'll show up in there. It just won't. It'll say like it's not live or whatever. But yeah, you'd be surprised like how many things like Boy Mom is trademarked. Right. You can't do anything with Boy Mom. That's one that surprised me. One that also surprised me, and it's relevant now, is Olympic stuff. It shouldn't have really surprised me, but it did. And again, that was me joining on, with a party planner who did these kind of like networking, like mock party team collaborations. And so you would do this mock party, and you'd have a cake decorator, a cookie decorator, a sign maker, and all these different people would kind of collaborate, and you get all these wonderful staged photos, and you only had to bring in like your one little piece, right? And it was great. And then we did an Olympic one, and I made like really cool Olympics. I didn't do anything with like the rings or whatever. I did flame cupcake toppers and like a base that holds like ice cream cone cupcakes, and then also a torch for a cupcake topper. So it's all can be like generic. It's not only Olympic related. But I had included it in like my titles and my tags at first, because I didn't realize. So just little things like that where like, even me, I knew at the time, like I never had Disney or any of that stuff like in my shop. But there's some stuff that like teeters the line, that it's just not the best idea to put in there, because, it's just not worth it. Whether you agree with it, whether you're not, like even just doing something too close sometimes, it's like, okay, yes, technically, are you probably okay? Yes. But do you also want the potential extra negative attention towards your shop from that company or whatever?
Yeah. Rough. It's rough.
So, in that year, how has that year, let's talk about the positive stuff from Etsy. How has that year gone since you opened up?
It's been amazing. Yeah. I've had, a few little hiccups here and there with, like an unhappy customer about something that they should have seen that I had in the description or, something like that. But really, overall, even with the few little negative things, it's been really, really great. I hopped on Etsy, not quite at the very beginning of when the Stanley Toppers started, but I was at the beginning of the when the cool ones started coming out, where the different shapes and the different the different design ones, and I design shit. Like I love designing stuff, and so I was seeing all these plain ones, and I was like, I can do better than this. So I think my very first one that I made was this so silly, a flower. It was a daisy shape, And that thing blew up on Etsy, and I had people stealing my photos. I had people. That was really crappy in the beginning, but like, it's gonna happen. You can't stop it, you know.
But yeah, and I mean, it doesn't feel good in the moment, and I kind of hate when people say it to me when it happens. But like, if someone's stealing your shit, it usually means it's good.
Exactly.
So. You know, they're not stealing the crap for the most part, you know.
Really,
so
I mean, all it did was light the fire under me, and it made me want to do more. And so that's what I did. But yeah, it's been great. I ended the 1 year mark. I got to the 1 year mark, and I think I'm over 2,000 sales, which
that's awesome.
I mean, that's more than I expected to get. I only just recently started pushing a little bit of traffic to my Etsy. I try to focus more on my website because
yes, definitely.
Yeah, it's just better to do that.
It is.
So really my Etsy sales are just from what Etsy puts out there.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I try to do the best SEO I can, and that's basically it. So
before you went on Etsy, did you have your website, or were you selling just on like Instagram and Facebook? Like, what was your process for that?
So before Etsy, we did have a website, and we sold a little bit on the website, but I hated the platform we were using. It was slow as a snail. Every time I wanted to upload a listing or do anything to it, it would take hours and hours just for one listing. Goodness. Oh, it was absolutely awful.
Listings are bad enough. You don't need to make it worse.
It was so bad. And it was hard for Albert because, like, he's this techie guy, and he's like, I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do on here, and it is slow. And he would put in tickets with the company, and, like, they would change something in the back end, and then it was supposed to be better, and then it just wasn't. And so we finally switched over to Shopify, and it has been so much better.
I love Shopify. And I'm barely like touching the surface of what my website can do with Shopify. Yeah. And I love it and want to add like all the things because it's just, and I will say, I mean, I've had a little bit of trouble like here and there, like with support, but for the most part, anytime I reach out to support, they're super helpful. There's been many times where I'm like, I don't know, why this won't work. And they'll do test orders, and they'll go and like screen record their screen and like show me literally how to do it like step by step. And so yeah, I've been really happy with Shopify, especially just coming from I started on Etsy with the files. And my physical products were all like by like just Messenger or Instagram or whatever, because it was like just really friends and family. For the most part, I've really only like sold to mostly my close circle and maybe like their friends or family, and so I didn't really like need the website, I felt like at the time. And so I started with Etsy, and Etsy, like, you were really limited on like what kind of coupons you could do, what kind of sales you could do, what you could give like away. Like, you can't do anything for free on Etsy because they want their fees, which it makes sense. But God forbid you want to give like a free file or something like that. You don't have that flexibility on Etsy where you do on Shopify. And just like the coupons and being able to like easily choose like certain collections and percentages and just all of those things, it was night and day compared to the two. But then Etsy, like, I never push my file sales like at all. So if I get a file purchase, it's 100% from Etsy. So if I make a couple $100 a month, like, bonus, I'll take it, because it's just it's sitting there literally.
That's kind of why I started my Etsy, because I was like, this is money that I wouldn't have otherwise. So and that was kind of like how I talked myself into it. Like, what's the worst that could happen? If nothing happens with it, then I'm not in a different position than I am right now. But if it works out, then great.
Yeah.
So that's why I did it. But taking orders wise, it was such a pain, not with Etsy, but before I started with Shopify, because I hated listing my stuff on my website. So basically I was just posting pictures on Instagram
Right.
and then people would DM me
and then you invoice them.
Yeah, I would invoice them through Square, and then I
Yep.
had like a which I didn't stay very well with it, but it was a Microsoft. It was a, oh my gosh, I can't think of the word right now. It's totally not even whatever. Anyway, I would write all my orders down, and I would lose stuff. I would forget to write things down, and I would, oh yeah, that's right, I forgot I got to do this order for somebody, and it was just driving me insane.
Yeah.
Gosh, it was horrible. And then Christmas came, and that was, wow.
Yeah.
Holy crap. And then that's kind of what pushed me. Like, we have to change our website, because this is not, I cannot keep doing it like this. I'm forgetting things. It's awful. So when we switched to Shopify, now I can actually send like a payment link. Like, I don't even have to invoice them. I can actually just like type in whatever it is, if it's not on a website already, and then like send them the link, and they just go and they pay for it, and it's so much easier.
Tell me about this link. I don't know that I know about this link.
Well, it's okay. So it's the same as if I didn't know about that, because I was sending people invoices through Shopify.
Yeah, because that's what I do.
Yeah, and then it was getting frustrating, because like people would message me on Instagram to order, and it would be something super custom that's not on the website. So I'm like, well, I have to do the invoice, but then I don't know their name, so then I have to like, hey, what's your name? And then that's kind of weird, And so,
well, and then it messes with shipping too, because my issue was I would invoice people, and because I didn't know their address, I couldn't estimate shipping easily, and it would like, I couldn't. Yeah, just trying to do it like flat rate, and it like, you need to. I don't mind invoicing when they're already in my system.
Right.
So like if it's a customer that I already have, I choose that customer, then I add all the items, and then it sends it to them, and the shipping is accurate. It doesn't estimate it wrong, because I was having like it do all these weird things in the background because they were like odd items that weren't in my shipping profile, and it was.
That's very frustrating. I struggle with it. Luckily, right now, a lot of the people that I'm doing my payment links for in Shopify are local, so I don't necessarily have to like do a whole lot of shipping through there. But if it is something that I need to ship, then I just do a flat rate and I add it in, because I'm like, I don't want to mess with. I generally know like how much it's gonna cost.
For sure.
We just do it that way. But yeah, it's really like, instead of clicking at the bottom where it says like make invoice or send invoice or something like that, you just save it at the top. And then after you save it, another button pops up, and you can share the link. And
I'm
then
going to have to test that after this.
Yeah. You just copy it.
Because that's awesome.
It. Yeah. It's so much easier. I love it.
Yeah. Well, because then like you have to have like, I'm always like, okay, what's your email? And then I have to type in their email, and then I have to like try and copy and paste it. And now copy and paste is all weird on my phone or Facebook and stuff right now. And it just like adds all these extra things to it. And then I get really mad.
And then for a while, when I was doing it that way with the invoice, I put their email in, their name in, but then like, obviously you just let them put in all their address information.
Right.
But it automatically, for some reason, defaulted on mine to Alabama. And so, I didn't know that in the beginning, and I was like, why does this say Alabama on here?
Same.
And I'd have to go back and change it. Yeah, it was frustrating.
The growing pains. Yes. Yeah, it's funny. So I actually I was like dragging my feet, trying to set up the website, and it was really intimidating because there was just so much customization. And so I was like, when something's difficult, I'll procrastinate for forever, and I'll kind of like chip away at it, and then I'll let another few weeks or months go by, and then I'll chip away at it. And then I had finally, so I had just started, like, I had set up like some things, and I'm pretty sure I was paying like $39 a month, and I wasn't even using it. I think I might have invoiced people. I might have at least had that much set up. And then I went viral, and PMing is not going to work. I tried it. and it failed immediately. And so I couldn't sleep anyway because my phone wouldn't shut up and my brain was like spinning at all of these messages I was getting. And so I woke up at like 3 a.m. and I spent the next 10 hours setting up my website and putting up all the listings, like making the items, taking pictures of the items, putting it all in. I don't know how I did it, but I mean, that's ADHD. It either takes you 10 months or it takes you 10 hours because now like you're up against the wall and you have to do it now. But it was awesome because when my little viral moment was over, I had a base website set up, and then I wasn't really adding listings to it, but it made it easier for me to then bill people through the invoice and not, they could pay by credit card instead of Venmo or Zelle. Do you have PayPal? No, I don't want to take Cash App, and all those things. And then when the keychain thingies came about, and I was looking for them, and then I realized how many other people were looking for them. I was like, oh, okay, well, and initially I thought it was just going to be that one order. I did like one order for several thousand, and I like took orders that way. And then here we are, I don't know how many years later for keychain thingies. I should probably look.
Yeah.
It was April of, I think, 3 years ago.
That sounds about right.
2 or 3 years ago. But yeah, thankfully, I had already had the website mostly set up. So then I just had to gradually keep adding listings, and then, you can duplicate them. I figured that out after a while. So then you duplicate them, and that saves you some of the work.
Right.
But yeah, it's a lot of work, but it really is worth it once you get it finished, because it just makes your life so much easier. It makes your customers' life so much easier. And so then it's also, it's easier for you to get that sale because you made it as easy as possible for them as well.
Right.
It's really funny. You would think that having a website and having everything up on there would make your customers' lives a lot easier, but
it should.
It should, but that has not been the case.
So, but you do a lot of custom stuff. And so I will say that that's part of the reason I had drug my feet for so long on setting up the website was customization. When I went viral for those ornaments, I didn't allow any customization. It was, this is the ornament you get.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, and that
it was set options. I think the most they got to choose on a couple of the versions was like color. It's like, do you want red or green? They didn't have to, there was no name to put in. There was no, anything like that. So I will say that customization, it does make it a little bit harder if you don't want to spend several $100s a month on the fancy apps that do make customization a little bit easier. Yeah. And then depending, I think that, there's only so much the apps can do as well. Right. If you really want it to be like a like somewhat seamless website that allows for customization, like there's some websites that like show you font previews and show you
fancy.
Yeah. And like those, like that's you got a web builder. And you spent several $1,000s and you probably pay them monthly that, just in case something goes down and all of that stuff. So, I will say that the customization part is not nearly as easy as like just standard products with, regular variations.
Maybe I just have really stubborn customers. I don't know.
It could be that too.
When I started really pushing people, like, you have to order through my website because it keeps me organized. It keeps me stuff. And that's what I keep telling people. But oh my gosh, I have people all the time. Can I just Venmo you? And I'm like, no, you can't Venmo me anymore. No more Venmoing for that.
So, I mean, I will say as far as that goes, I did allow that and do allow that for like friends and family, I will say, or like a certain customer, because in Shopify, you can mark so I still create the invoice and I still create an order and then I mark it as paid. And then I obviously don't mark it as paid until the money is like in my bank account.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's possible that way too. But even when I wasn't using it for the, like custom options and that kind of stuff, I was using it as like my glorified, like projects, so it's like, oh, I know that I have this one to do, this one. It gave me a list that I could easily like mark off, like fulfill or shipped or whatever. Cause I mean, you get to a point where you have more than a couple orders and I was forgetting about people, people were like, oh, how's that cake topper coming along? I'm like, it's great. It's on the list today. I'm going to get that out tomorrow. Yeah.
I'm
if I
the finishing touches.
Something today, it's because I probably forgot to do it.
Oh, totally. Yeah. So it definitely did make things easier to track. And I tried all the apps that people said that they used, when they didn't have a website, and none of those worked for me. If it was just like a check it off, then it's like I had to put all this information in this like messy note, and then I'd like forget to like add what color, and then it'd be time for me to make that item, and then I'd have to go back through our messages and then like, what color did she say? Did I even ask her what color? Did I forget? So website is definitely the way to go once you get it set up. And I mean, so what issues do you have, I guess, with the customer, like, ordering, or what troubles do your customers have?
No, I think people just, I don't know. I honestly thought that when I started pushing everybody just to order through the website, the things that are on there, it's the custom stuff that that's not really a problem. I don't have an issue with that because I just go in and type it in and then send them direct.
Right.
But it's the stuff that I already have listed on my website that I'm like, you can buy it on the website. And they're like, well, can I just order through Instagram? And I'm like, why can't you just click the link I sent you?
Right, with a big old smile on your face. But you could just do it right here.
Right here. But and then what I found was like in the beginning, I was like, fine, just pay me on Venmo. Yeah. But I would still send them the invoice because then I would just mark it as paid. But then what was happening is they weren't paying the full invoice. They weren't paying the tax on it.
Oh,
they were paying the rate. And I'm like, this is a business.
Yeah.
We have to charge tax. We have to.
Yeah.
So that was the main, reason other than organization that I was like, you guys, we have to do it through the website.
Well, just tracking it. Like, I mean, Shopify tracks taxes so easily. I mean, I wouldn't really know, but according to my accountant, it does it really well. She just logs in, she gets a little report, and then goes about her merry way. Every once in a while, like every other month, she'll be like, can you send me that code? It's asking me for a code because she has my password and all that stuff, but like every once in a while it'll like want to verify or double check or whatever. But yeah, it really is just so much easier to have it all in one place, and they don't realize it because they're not a business, but it makes it easier for them as well. It makes it so that I actually get your order out and on time and properly.
Yeah. The only thing right now I'm struggling with is, and I probably should just take myself off, is the shop app. So I have it set up to where like we're on the shop app. So if somebody's on there, they can find us. But the issue is with all the customization stuff.
Yeah.
Not all of this. If somebody found me on, I need to write that down and do it like tonight.
Right.
Deactivate that, because if somebody found me randomly on Shopify and wanted to order something, none of the customization stuff is on there through the apps.
That's frustrating.
So if I use the Shopify variants or whatever, then it's fine. It's on there. But like a lot of the stuff that I need a name, I need a font choice, and like I can't have all that on there, and so it doesn't show up on there. So I'm like, I think I need
well, and then you have to hope that they like see your email or they see your message or whatever. And then if they don't, I can't tell you how many times I've had a question on an order and I can't get a hold of the customer. And mind you, most of my customers are business owners, but some of them are purchasing through their personal email, which they probably don't check as much. I'm guilty of that. I look at my business email and my personal email. I miss stuff all the time.
Yeah.
So if I got an email on there, I would probably be that person who didn't see it and didn't respond to somebody.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've had to just guess and send stuff out and hope that I guessed right, or, send it as is and hope that they don't want to return it and that kind of stuff. 'Cause yeah, if you can't get a hold of them, it's a mess. And that's one of the things, the drawbacks to the TikTok shop too, people were having with customization. If they didn't have all of the information from the beginning, or they had to ask a customer anything, like getting a hold of them, then it was 3 days, which is still insane. Now it's 2.
Yeah. Oof. Yeah. Albert has, he's so hyped about this. He's like, he wants something of ours to go viral at some point. Yeah. And I'm not a TikToker. I don't even have TikTok on my phone. I don't like it. I have a TikTok, but I don't like it.
Use it. Yeah.
He uses TikTok all the time. And so his account is our Burn Shack account. And so he's like always, he's like, I hope, maybe this will be the one. And I'm like, I don't want to go viral.
Yeah.
Careful what you ask for.
No, I will say that I never wanted it. And then when it happened, all of the reasons I didn't want it came true. It was pure panic. It was stress. I feel like I've said this story a million times, but I shut it down. I had shut down my own orders because it was Christmas. Christmas was a couple weeks away. I was pregnant and miserable, and it was too early on in my pregnancy to tell anybody I was pregnant and miserable. And yeah, I had to make all these orders and like work crazy hours to get them all out, even though I told them I think I told them 3 to 4 week production times, and I cushioned myself. I charged a lot for those ornaments. I gave them a long production time. I'm like, if you want one of these, you're going to pay a premium for it. And I sold the file too. And I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, if you know anyone who has a laser, have them buy the file. I wanted them to have their friend buy the $6 file and make their friend buy it, make it for them. I didn't actually want to make it for them. But at the same time, I'm not going to walk away from this extra money that people are literally throwing at me. So it was definitely a mini viral moment. I only made, I say only, but it was $800 to $1,000 again, because it was a very short window. I went viral 2 weeks before Christmas. So as soon as Christmas hits, the ooh and ah over ornaments was pretty much over. I would have some trickle in here and there, and those are fine because it was 1 or 2, here and there. I wasn't having to make 30 of a 4-layer ornament. And
yeah, I'm like, if we go viral for something, can it just be something really simple that I don't have to
yeah, the people who are going viral for the Stanley Toppers, you're having to line up all these names and keep them all together, and oh, this name, the top is purple and the bottom is black, and you have to make sure that name is purple and this part it's a lot.
Well, yeah, seeing Callie Goodwin and her happened to her, I was like, at first I was like, yeah, let's have this happen. And then I saw her stuff and I was like, no,
never mind.
No, I don't want that. I don't want that.
Right?
And
steady
with
flow.
Christmas time coming, I am thankful for every order I get, but it is bad enough if really something goes viral during, I don't even know what I would do.
Well, and just
these 24-hour skulls.
Right? Oh, God. Well, yeah, and then with shipping, you're battling against the carriers and the delay because of a holiday anyway. Yes. And then things are out of your control. I had a situation, the other day where I literally shipped same day, but it wasn't scanned until the following day. And then I think even then, for some reason, it almost the second scan was still. It was a different scan, but the second scan was still at the post office. And so it was 2 days after I had packaged it and sent it off, that it like went out, and then it just went on its merry way, went really slowly, and it'd sit for a couple days, and then it'd go to the next stop, and then it'd sit for a couple days.
Slow and steady.
And of course she needed them.
Something else these days.
Right. Well, and then of course, you know, she needed it by a certain day, and it wasn't there in time, and, you know, then posted about it in one of our big groups and hadn't reached out to me first, and it really upset me, because it's like, if you would have given me the opportunity, I would go out of my way, which I did. I ended up posting in one of my groups, and I was like, hey, who's in this state? Is anyone near this person, so that we can get some to them? And like, you know, I'll do whatever I can, because I want you to have these as well. And then, yeah, the post then turns into all of my competitors saying, oh, I can get them out to you. And it's like, are they a magician? Are they flying to your house? Are they driving to your house because they're local and they can, you know, bring it to you? So it was
They're going to try to get that business from you.
Yeah. So that's the hard part.
They could have that one.
Yeah. And I mean, and that's and you'd think that other like business owners would kind of understand that aspect, but you know, and I guess I get it, you know, when they have these orders, or they have this order that they really need to get out, and they were counting on it, and they thought they ordered with enough time, and you know, the USPS gods are like, oh, you ordered this with plenty of time.
Ugh.
Cool.
I'm gonna like make sure that it gets there 2 days after, or the day after you actually need it. And
I can't even tell you how many. Yes, I had a customer. Oh my gosh, she spent over $100 on a tumbler, and wanted it. It was for her kindergartner. It was a Stanley for her kindergartner. And
must be nice,
right?
Yeah, for Valentine's Day. Well, she lived in down south, Southern California. So
she had the money.
Yeah. And well, not only did she pay $100 for the tumbler, she also paid to ship it, like
expedited.
Yes, expedited, and she paid a rush fee to do it, because it was like kind of close, you know, to Valentine's Day. And so I shipped it. I literally made it that day and shipped it the very next day. Would have been plenty of time. I literally live like 8 hours from this person.
Yeah. Would have been easier to drive it. Yeah.
Oh, it would have been, because it went all the way to Virginia at first.
Oh my God.
But thankfully it got there the day before she needed it.
Ooh, yeah.
But I was literally calling the facility that it was at, and I was like trying to get somebody on the phone, like, it is there. I know it's there. And then it started moving again. But yeah, I mean, there's like things that are bouncing all over the place. And I'm like,
Mindy. So Mindy, I used to live 25 minutes from Mindy with Sunshine Laser Supplies. And she was too lazy to drive to my house and come pick up the keychain thingies. And so she ordered. Distracted me.
Yeah, sorry.
His phone says when it's dying. It goes, I'm dying over here. Oh. So that's what it just said. But anyway, she was too lazy to, you know, come pick it up. She didn't want to, didn't have time, which I get it. Because, like, that's, if it's 25 minutes there, it's also 25 minutes back. Right. And then we're probably going to talk. And then now it turns into a couple-hour thing. And we don't have time for that. So she ordered them, and they went to Puerto Rico first.
Oh, they went on vacation?
They did. They went on, the keychain thingies went on vacation, you know, had a couple drinks at the beach, and then it finally went to her house. And then the best part was she lost them.
Oh.
Because they're small, which is another reason I want to start selling the boxes for them. So hopefully people lose them a little bit less. But yeah, it's just, even if it's down the street or like, you know, a couple cities away, that's when it'll be like, it like throws it off. It's like, oh, this is too simple. Let me complicate it.
That's too close.
I have that your comment about her losing the keychain thingies reminds me of something that happened to me last year, actually. And this is so horrible. I lost a full box of acrylic.
Ooh.
That's something I would do.
22 sheets of acrylic. Yeah. I'm like, I can see you losing keychain thingies. That's, you know, that's easy to.
Right. They're just
it's
small
in a
little
bag
baggy.
that you think is trash, and then you know, accidentally throw them away. But yeah, 22 sheets of acrylic. I had it was 3 boxes that I had gotten, and one of them went missing, and no, I never found it.
Wait, so did you actually get it, or?
Yeah, it actually came because I opened the box and had checked to make sure that all of it was in there, and then.
Wait, so you still never found it?
No, I never found it. I have no idea where.
That's crazy.
There's a black. I joke around now that there's a black hole. Anytime I lose something, I'm like, "There's a black hole in here."
Oh, it's with the acrylic over there in the black hole.
The acrylic. Yeah, I could not believe it. I ended up having to just reorder it all because it was stuff I had to have. And
right.
Yeah, Albert was like,
"That would frustrate me."
He was like, "I probably threw it away," and I'm like, "How could
that's
you?"
That's a heavy.
Exactly. I'm like, "There's no way. There's no way." And he's like, "It had to have. There's no other explanation." I'm like,
right.
Yeah.
I mean, in this
box
mess,
is in a corner somewhere. Like,
possible.
You see me?
Right? I see you. Does she see me? No.
It still haunts me to this day. I mean, I still randomly will be like,
"Is that it?" Right? I would too. Yeah. That was. We probably need to start wrapping up soon, but that also leads me to another similar story where Heather sent me. You don't like this story?
That's a good story.
So Heather sent me, when we all got our Miras, the tube that we all really liked was like a big, like heavy duty, like reinforced tube, right? Well, on Amazon, you had to get like something like 25 feet of it or something. And typically most of us only need like 6 feet,
If
maybe.
that. Yeah.
If that, so you buy this tubing and then you have all of this left over. And so she got her Mira first and then I got mine. And she sent me the tubing. And then we were going to attempt to go to her wedding, but we couldn't end up making it. And so she sent like a bag with, is that another spider? It's another spider. Sorry, I was distracted. There's a spider in the corner over there. And she sent like the bag, like, the kind of like the swag bag, and it had like a keychain with our names on it, and the bag, and then like some sunglasses inside, whatever. And then,
I just can't believe how long.
Oh my god! And then she also sent a can, like a can of Ceremark. I mean, they're like spray paint, right?
Yeah.
So she sends it and she put it inside the tube. And John inspected that tube like crazy and couldn't find it anywhere. She was going nuts. Like, I know I put it in there and I just put it like, wherever. And so he's looking like at each end, like trying to shake it, like make sure, couldn't find anything. And then we moved into this house.
Fast forward. What, a year?
2 years.
2 years later, we installed the hose. We've used this machine
for 2 years.
For 2 years. Now, mind you, using the machine for 2 years is not like most people using the machine for 2 years.
No, I don't use my machine nearly as much as
but we still
normal.
use the machine for 2 years. And then we get here and I'm just moving it around. Because it wasn't even hooked up. And all of a sudden, this thing comes out of this tube and it's all dusty. And I'm like, what did she put? And I'm thinking, I had already forgot about the Ceremark gate thing and all that.
Oh my God. And she was so mad. She was so mad, which I get it. Cause I'd be like, it's in there. I know it's in there. But like she lived in Philly. She couldn't drive to my house and come like find it for us.
And I'm thinking, I must have thought when I was searching the tube, like, if you put something in the tube, you're going to put it like right, like it's going to be right. It's not going to be in the middle. It's not going to be all the way. And then, maybe it wasn't Heather. Maybe it shifted.
Yeah, shipping,
but I must have just checked, like, I must have put my hand in there, didn't feel it on both ends.
Yeah.
And then, like, oh, it's not here. But then when I'm moving the whole tube out of the way to get it or whatever, anyway, it falls out. And I'm like... I
go over there and
what
he's
is
like,
this?
what the hell is this?
And I'm like, what's this that was in this tube?
Like, again,
what did you put in there?
Extremely dusty because it's been in the vent for 2 years. And then I see the keychain with my name on it.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, and she goes,
oh,
God.
this is that thing from Heather. She's like, I got to tell Heather. I'm like, no, you don't.
I asked you. I said, should we tell
like,
Heather?
No, we
and
shouldn't.
you're like, no, we do not.
I remember how mad she got. She got mad. She would. I think she even like sent.
Oh no, she turned off her phone.
She got like a free one. Like no, I mean I think she commented.
She forced me to take hers.
Oh right. You
want to know the best part? I've never used either of those sear marks.
Yeah.
Either of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then I had to tell her, like, something came up. I think she brought up that bag. And she's like, oh, so I think something went missing. And she was like, oh, it's probably over there wherever that sear mark and your bag from the wedding went. And I was like, oh.
No, we found it.
Like,
we have it now.
Funny you say that. We found that. And she was like, oh my gosh. She was so happy. I was terrified to tell her that she was going to get mad all over again. And of course, I only told her because I could blame him. It wasn't my fault.
But the crazy thing was that we like used the machine.
Yeah, that might be why my venting wasn't.
Well, but it wasn't.
Amazing.
It also wasn't even.
No,
like,
it wasn't terrible.
That horrible. It
no,
wasn't
and I
like.
didn't have a. Did I have a fan?
Yeah. Yeah, we had.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. No.
Well, imagine
no, we
with the
didn't.
mirror.
No, not with the mirror. No.
You're using your laser like a lot.
I mean, I wasn't using my laser a lot, so that definitely did help. I was not using my laser like a normal, because again, I was mostly making files. I had my course, I had the podcast, I had all the keychain thingies, I had all these things.
If anything, you were testing the file that you had created.
No, I was not making production stuff. I wasn't taking a lot of orders. And again, so my Mira would have been amazing to have when I went viral, but I was still on my Glowforge. And then by the time it showed up, it had all been done and over with. And then my pregnancy was so rough, I didn't want to make much of anything because I didn't feel like a normal human being at all. So much so that when I finally had Jackson, I went and made something 4 days later. I kind of had to because it was a cake topper that was that needed to be. But my friend gave me an out. She was like, "Listen, I can get a regular ass cake topper like anywhere. It's not a huge deal."
No, it was like night and day for you.
Oh no, I was it was almost immediate.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that didn't help either, which probably helped it not be a very bad fire hazard and all of those things. Don't recommend it. Inspect the entire tube.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I mean, I guess that sear mark could have like popped or like anything could have happened. Anything could have happened.
It's just
2 years.
really bad.
Yeah.
But anyway, you provided a discount for our members. So what's as John calls it, the general admission discount and discount code if they want to check out your shop?
So because I have the Etsy, my digital files and physical stuff, I have on Etsy. I don't have any digital stuff on my website yet. I probably should do that. But so
it takes so much time.
It does.
I just moved my keychain files, and that was enough, and I'll get back to the other stuff later.
Yeah, it's another thing to learn, and I'm,
it's not hard. If you need help, I got you.
Okay, good. Okay, so for Etsy, the sale code is TRBP, all caps. Cool. Simple.
Yep.
And then on the website, and that's for everything on my Etsy, not just digital files. So whatever. Cool. And then for the website, we're doing for the skull, and that's 15% off. Sorry, I forgot to mention that part. 15%. Yeah. And then same for the skull, 15% off, and the same code.
Cool. Awesome. That's easy. Yeah. So then they'll get, obviously our patrons will get a bigger and better code.
Yep. Yes. And that was the perfect time to sign up for our Patreon. Mm-hmm. If you weren't there for the After Dark, I mean, we just did an After Dark last week. That was really fun. Which was a lot of fun. You can catch the replay, but only if you become a patron. You're a patron.
Well, and there's a fun little perk that's coming up. Yep. We'll be announcing that this week. So
be on the lookout.
Some people will get a little bonus for signing up. Yes, they will have. It will already be announced by the time the episode comes out. Yep.
By Monday
Because
we'll
we're
know?
announcing it Thursday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So where can people find you if they want to follow you and see all the Burn Shack things?
I'm most active on Instagram, and we're just the Burn Shack on Instagram. Cool. My Etsy, I guess I didn't mention this. My Etsy is the Burn Shack 209.
Okay.
Oh.
And then our website is theburnshack.com.
Awesome.
Simple.
Perfect.
Easy.
Cool.
Perfect. Well, thank you for the skulls.
Yes.
First and foremost. And
thank you, friend.
Thank you for
she's one of the people in the laser community who just like it just kind of organically happened. Like
Right.
I would like reply to some of her stories and she would reply to some of mine, and then we both had like found out about our love of nails. And so we send random ridiculous nail reels to each other all the time. And and then she makes me fun 3D printed stuff. So that's definitely going to be a friend of mine.
Yeah. It was definitely priority on how we were going to bring this home from Tulsa.
Yeah, well, I didn't care how I was gonna. She goes,
willing,
"Oh, should I
ready to
bring
just
them?
hold
Because then you're gonna have to like ship them, or how are you gonna get them home?" I'm like, "It's fine. I'll figure it out."
I was gonna hold them like on the plane, but luckily they fit in the duffel.
He did. He had to bring like a duffel bag on the plane, and that literally had the two heads and then maybe a couple other things, but it was mostly just the two heads.
Really maxed out what you can bring between the carry-ons, because I had my gear back, and I don't know if you saw how big that gear backpack was, but then I had this duffel that was gonna go underneath.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, it was cool when we were traveling together, because I like, this is her bag, this is my bag.
Right.
So but when it was just me, I'm like, I hope they don't tell me anything. Because neither one of these is going to be checked, because I'm not breaking those.
Yeah.
And you're not breaking these.
Right.
So.
Don't make me choose between my gear and these awesome hat holders or whatever.
So, just awesome skulls.
Yeah, they're really they're cool on their own. Like, he doesn't have a hat on.
No.
And he's just cool.
They're just really cool.
It's going to get so much better with the stand.
So, yes, and which, depending on the red one we get, we might give this one away. Or that one.
No, that one.
That one?
That one. I'm
okay,
keeping
so you're
this
going
one.
to keep this one?
Sorry. This
other one.
Cool.
This one's really cool with the color change.
Yeah.
So
it really is.
This one's
You
really
could
cool.
use that one for headphones too.
Oh no,
That's what he does.
That's exactly what
He uses the other one for headphones.
The other one's for headphones. The other one's on. The other one's on my desk. It has my RBM hat on from Tabitha. Shout out to Laser Llama, and then the headphones go over it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
don't break it.
I'm not breaking it. So yeah. Well, Bree, thanks for hanging out with us for a little over an hour. And and you guys stick right there for our life update coming up next. And we are back.
What's up?
With another great topic for all of you file makers out there.
For you, just anyone.
Just
anyone who makes stuff.
Redundancy.
Back up your shit. I backed up my shit, thankfully. And I don't know if it's done yet. It's probably done. I'm not going to check it tonight. Okay. I can't for my brain.
Okay.
I'll check it in the morning, open one of the files, test it, see if everything's good. So 2 years ago, I think, yes, I had already had Backblaze, thankfully. So I think it was 2 or 3 years ago, I had a scare where I thought I had lost everything, but I didn't. But thankfully, I didn't procrastinate that one, because these things I always procrastinate on, and then something happens and you're like, fuck my life. Why didn't I do that when I thought of it before? And so, I was like, let me get a backup software and make sure that I have something in place. And, I was saving onto an external, and then I had Backblaze. Well, 2 years ago, because I saw on my account today when the last restore was, and it was 2022, there was a Microsoft update.
Oh, right.
And it wiped my hard drive. So thankfully for Backblaze, we should put the little like referral link in there. If you use, I'm not really like an affiliate, but like if you use that link, you get, I think, a month free and I get a month for free.
Oh, cool.
But it's so worth it. I think it's $100 for the year.
Oh,
and
that's not bad at all.
No, it's for peace of
It's
mind
no
alone.
Patreon $4, but
Right. But it saved my ass. I would have lost everything 2 years ago. And today I woke up and I was scrolling on Pinterest because I was looking for like just Christmas ornament like ideas and stuff and what was trending and whatever. And I go to pull up one of my older files to kind of like repurpose it. Mm-hmm. And, all of my files start with Riley Black Designs _ then the name of the file, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm typing in RILE nothing. And I'm like, okay. All right, like waiting. I'm like, maybe sometimes it takes a while to read and like lag. There's a little bit of a lag and nothing. And I'm like, okay. And then I'm like, am I in the right folder? So then I start second guessing, is this where I save everything? Like, I know it is, but my brain's like, just trying to problem solve. And then I figured, no, this is it. And so then I tried to like scroll to R since the search isn't working for some reason, right? And it won't go any further than a file that was MY. Something, my whiskey something. And I was like, oh my God. Yeah. They were there yesterday.
Yeah. And then so
today, no update,
her laptop,
no nothing.
Your computer runs a little slower than mine.
Yeah.
So I unplugged it from yours and plugged it into mine to see if my computer could read it.
Well, and every once in a while it's been weird and I've had to unplug it and plug it back in, and that's like fixed it. But this, I could tell this was different. This wasn't whatever that usually happens.
So that didn't work when I did it on my end. So yeah.
So it should be okay. I'm right now in the process. I downloaded, from what I can tell, it's only that folder that I've seen so far. Of course, that folder is what I use the most. So I downloaded that whole folder. That took several hours. Then I had to transfer that download into, I'm putting it in Dropbox for now. Because I realized that Backblaze actually does back up my Dropbox files and stuff as well. So in the morning I will check it and see if everything's fixed, and I'm pretty sure it is, and I'm hopeful. But just another reminder, if you need it, if you're putting off redundancy, you need like external hard drives can fail just as easily as the hard drive on your computer.
Well, it's the same hard drive.
So, it's the same. So I heard so many people say, "Oh, that's why I save onto an external," and it's like those. I feel like those, especially if you're getting a cheaper one on Amazon, those can crash even more so than your computer.
Yeah. Well, I have one from Amazon that I can't even use because it just doesn't. I try to, if I transfer too big of a file, it doesn't transfer. Crashes. Yeah, the drive itself crashes. So I just have it. I mean, I didn't pay much. Again, it was a cheap one.
Yeah.
It was the early days, and it's funny that this happens when I'm looking at, because, so I'm coming to the point of I bought this 10 terabyte external.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is gonna be great. Right, I'm gonna be good. I'm gonna be good for a while. I'm not gonna fill this up anytime soon.
Famous last words.
It's been a year.
Yeah.
Only since we've been here, since less than a year
you do video, so
and less
it's
than
even
a year,
more so.
And I've been doing a lot of 4K, which takes up even more space.
Yeah.
Because 4K, I'm gonna nerd out on you guys, but 4K allows me to shoot horizontally and then do vertical, without really. I don't have to stretch it.
Right.
I don't have to stretch the image so it doesn't get like grainy or anything like that. But those are bigger files.
Yeah.
So I've been using up. I'm a little bit over halfway. So I'm like, let me start looking now for solutions. And I found this great solution. It's
a fuck ton of money.
Yes, it is. But it's basically a server for the house. So like it's individual drives. It's up to 8 drives in there, and they can be as big as 18 terabytes. 18 terabytes? Yeah, I think 18 terabytes.
Yeah.
Each drive.
Yeah.
And then so it's 8. You can use 4 of those, and the other 4 mirrors those 4 at the same time. So you have 2 versions on there. Plus, if we have a Backblaze or a Dropbox, so now it lives in those files live in 3 places.
Yeah.
In case anything
and
happens.
So we figured out that I can now. So
like
right
said,
now my redundancy was saving to my hard drive and then Backblaze backing everything up. But you found out that I can save to my hard drive, but then also Dropbox at the same time.
Yeah, Dropbox can sync to your external.
To my external.
Yeah.
So then
almost the same situation,
but just like one more.
Backblaze.
Yeah,
but it's like having a second.
Well,
one.
then I'm gonna keep Backblaze.
Right.
So it'll be my external. It'll be Dropbox, and then Backblaze, because and just especially with everything that just happened with the flights and the banks and all of that. Like you just never know.
Right.
And like this is years of work. Years.
So it's basically like catastrophe thinking. People are like, oh, cloud-based or like a hard drive. So you have yes, cloud-based can go down 100%. It can go down. Or if the internet goes down and you don't have access to it, then you can't get it anyway.
Right.
Right. But a hard drive, there's 2 types. I don't know if you know that there are 2 types of hard drives. There's a spinning disk, which is the HDD, and then there's a solid state drive.
Right. Okay.
A solid state is completely digital. So they're smaller, but they're more expensive, a lot more expensive.
Right.
The other one is literally like if you're like our age and you think of a CD, it's a CD inside this rectangle, and it's writing on it, and it's like you can write several times, or it's a weird thing. But anyway, it's a mechanical drive,
right?
Which if it's mechanical, it can fail,
right?
And if you're constantly working off of it, like you're not just saving to it, you're constantly working on it's constantly spinning.
Right.
So now you need the SATA, SATA kind of hard drive, which is again a little more expensive, but it's made to spin, but it's still spinning. It's just crazy. So they can all fail.
They can all fail.
But
and
you can save yourself.
Like if you're in a beginning business and all of that stuff, it's hard with all these extra expenses and like $100 a year. Yes, it sounds cheap, but when you're not making a ton of money in the beginning, that can be a lot too. So, but it's worth it because I've had to unfortunately use it twice now.
Right.
So,
Well, it's also why you freaked out, but you didn't fully freak out.
Yeah, I freaked out. Obviously, it's not fun. Even when you can back it up, it's not a good time.
Yeah.
It took hours and hours for it to download, and then another hours and hours to transfer everything over. It's a pain in the ass. And now I have stuff like in a weird, different place, and now you have all these duplicates and all this stuff, and you're scared something isn't going to transfer right. And even though yes, I have these backups, like doing all these downloads and transfers is just that many more opportunities for something not to transfer properly. And so I didn't completely freak out, but it definitely was not a welcome good morning. No. So wish me luck. Hopefully I have a good update that I got everything back.
So back up your files.
Please do.
Redundancy if you're not already. And if you are, what's one more?
Yeah. Exactly.
I'm
telling you, it's worth it. Yeah. If you're lucky, you'll never have to use it.
Yep.
But if you have to use it, you'll be glad you have it.
Better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it.
That thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, with that, it's been another great episode of the Riley Back Project. Crystal and John.
Bye.
Maybe we're all done.